So today's guest is here, and let me tell you, she helps entrepreneurs build profitable nonprofits. You heard me. Yes, you heard me correctly. We're super excited to have hanging out with us here on the Charvette Mitchell Radio Show, Dr. Shantell Chambliss. You're going to hear all about our amazing topic today on episode 736 of the Charvette Mitchell Radio Show, broadcasting live from the capital city of Richmond, Virginia, but heard and seen all across the World Wide Web. Let's get into our quick intro, and we'll be back.
Whoa. Why y'all so happy?
You don't know? Charvette Mitchell is on the radio.
It's time to get motivated, excited, and influenced. Why? It's the Charvette Mitchell Radio Show, live from Richmond, Virginia. And now, here to motivate, excite, and influence you, Charvette Mitchell.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Charvette Mitchell Radio Show, broadcasting live from the capital city of Richmond, Virginia. But again, heard all across the World Wide Web. Thank you to those that are with us on Facebook and a couple places on Facebook and YouTube and also LinkedIn and Twitch. And you might just be hanging out at charvette.com, which is a great place to go to check out all of our episodes and learn about all of our guests. And thank you for those that listen later in our podcast. Listen, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Google Play. We're all in all of the podcast platforms. Thank you. And listen, if you do listen by way of podcast, go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss any of our episodes at all. So we appreciate you as always. Thank you. We see you coming on in to the studio. Those that are live, go ahead and comment. Let us know you're here. If you are new to this show and new to this segment, just let us know that as well. Again, I'm Charvette Mitchell. I am the founder of Mitchell Productions, which is a marketing and professional development firm. And we are the producers of this amazing show where we feature and spotlight, oh my goodness, celebrities. And we feature and spotlight business owners and amazing topics. And today is no different. Listen, YouTube is already checking on in. So hello to my cousin Roberto. Good to see you. Listen, my blood sister Kim is here. Y'all hanging out over on YouTube. If you are following us on YouTube, if you're live or later, you might see a little bit of a facelift over there. You might see a little bit of a facelift over on our YouTube channel. We are making it easier for you to binge our content. So we have updated virtually all of our cover images so you can see the beautiful face of our guest. And more importantly, you see the topic. So if you're on YouTube, we know you have a better viewing experience and a more binge-worthy experience. And we've been told some of you watch us on your TVs by streaming. All right, so let's get it started here. Our guest is in the background and waiting to come up as we talk about today's topic, from concept to impact, strategies for nonprofit success with nonprofitability. Dr. Shantell Chambliss is with us. She's an award-winning entrepreneur, business strategist, advocate, and nonprofit leader. As an entrepreneur, Dr. Shantell has developed an impressive business portfolio, and as a thought leader in organizational development, she has matched extensive education and training with over 20 years of experience as a coach and consultant to create methods that help businesses launch, grow, and maximize their profits. Really, after identifying a void, a gap, if you will, in the consulting space, Dr. Shantell launched Nonprofitability, a boutique consulting firm that specializes in equipping nonprofits and faith-based organizations, we know you all are here in the audience as well, with proven tools and practices that promote sustainability. She does some more things. We're going to get all into it because, listen, I know you all are ready right now. Put your virtual hands together, clap it up as we bring live on the Charvette Mitchell Radio Show, Dr. Shantell Chambliss, coming up live. Hey, girl, hey.
Hey.
We are excited to have you on this Tuesday. It's raining here on the East Coast, but you're bringing the sunshine. You're bringing the sunshine to us.
Sorry, thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. You know, I've been a fan of yours forever. So I'm like getting my fangirl on.
Likewise.
I'm so happy to be here.
Oh, thank you so much. So, like, how did you get started with wanting to help nonprofits? Like, let's go there.
Oh my goodness. So, because I became one. Literally, I was kind of dragged into the nonprofit industry and like had no clue, didn't know anything about it really. And when I landed in this space, there weren't many faces that looked like mine. When I reached out for help, the help wasn't coming from peers. And I'm like, wait a minute, this doesn't feel right. So, after a few years of really learning the landscape, my nonprofit thankfully was really successful. And I had been a business consultant for years. I specialized in HR and things like that. And my clients were coming to me going, hey, I see what you're doing at your nonprofit. Can you help me? And that just led to this organic pivot into nonprofit consulting. The nonprofit landscape it's really special. It's a really, really special place where a lot of magic happens, especially in our communities. And nonprofits just need a unique type of support. And I've just been blessed to be able to create that.
Well, thank you for certainly all of your work in this space. And what I love is that you actually did the thing. And so you can actually help somebody with their actual nonprofit versus something perhaps that somebody read in a book and has a theory behind it. All that is out there. And so the name of the company, how did you come up with the name?
So Nonprofitability, a lot of people think it's a play on the word profit, but it's actually a amalgamation of nonprofit and sustainability, right? The goal is, of course, for the nonprofit to be profitable, but more importantly, is for it to be sustainable so that it's around to serve the community that it intends to serve. And so it really was just we threw some names together and this stuck. It was catchy. I tested it with a few people at some conferences and they loved the name. And here we are 7 years later, Nonprofitability.
Here we are. So for today's topic, again, episode 736, from concept to impact, strategies for nonprofit success with nonprofitability. And so I love concept. A lot of people have an idea and have a thought, and sometimes they automatically think, oh, this is a nonprofit. Or there are people who don't know, is this a business or this a nonprofit? What do you say to that initial concept that comes to somebody's mind?
So what I usually ask people is think about who is going to pay for the thing, right? Typically we go, hey, I want to start a restaurant, right? Okay, the consumer, the actual consumer purchases the food to consume. Typically in the nonprofit landscape, the person who pays for the consumption is not the consumer. Food pantries, we pay for the food or donate food to a food pantry, but we are not the consumers. And so it really is trying to find a great intersection between who the consumer is and who the funder is, like who's buying it. And if there is a disconnect, typically nonprofits stand in the space. It's what nonprofits do. We subsidize the cost of goods and services. We're the link between the resourced and the under-resourced, right?
Yeah.
And so a lot of times people come to me and they go, hey, I think this should be a nonprofit. And sometimes it really should be a for-profit because who you want to serve has the resources to pay for it, right?
Yeah.
But if you want to serve someone who typically does not have the resources to pay for it, you're probably looking at a nonprofit, right? You're looking for a way to subsidize costs or provide access to a good or a service that someone needs.
And, sometimes people, I will see on the business side, because I do not work with directly nonprofits. And when I'm listening to them, kind of like this, who you want to receive this doesn't have the ability to pay.
Exactly.
And sometimes there's like an aha for people. Let me capture this comment from Tiffany Jones. Thank you. She said, Dr. Shantell, she's a wealth of information, relatable and direct. Glad to see her tonight. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you. Gwen said that's a good explanation, which Gwen, I believe you do some nonprofit things. So thank you for being here. We also shout out A.M. Smith. Hey girl, hey. All right. So you've given some instruction, a little bit of that initial concept. Right. How do people think about impact on the front end as well?
Oh, on the front end. Now that's the part, right? It's really impact on the front end looks like how many individual people do I serve? I can feed 10 people from my food pantry this week, right?
Yeah.
Impact on the back end looks like the ripple effect. How does this food pantry serve this overall community? So because this child is not going to bed hungry, are their grades improving? Is their school improving? Is their health improving? Looking at it from the long game, right?
Yes,
How
yes.
are we improving communities overall? And so when I'm trying to get clients to think about impact, I really want them to think about the long game, right? How is it really affecting the community? Because not to be funny, if we're going to talk about profitability, that's where the money is. The money is not really where the individual services are. We
Right.
want to serve the individuals, us as people, as nonprofit leaders, as community leaders. We want to touch the people. The funding has to go far, right? We got to stretch those dollars. Like when your mama used to make spaghetti on Sunday and you better still eat it Wednesday.
Right.
That. So how do we stretch those dollars? It's
Yeah.
by that trickle down effect that our service may have. So the food pantry feeding 10 individuals really impacts hundreds of people, right? And it lessens the wait in the doctor's office because not as many children are sick. More children are in school, so schools are receiving funding because kids are in school and learning and healthy and fed. So impact, there's a huge gambit of impact, but it does start with the individual, but it goes further and deeper into the community.
Listen, I just saw some hearts go up, and I'm just listening to you. Let us know in the chat. Did you just have some aha moments there? I don't think people are even thinking that wide and far of an impact, which to me would seem it would be easier to sell, to pitch to partnerships and or whoever has the deep pockets. Would you agree?
Absolutely. It's, my primary client is a small grassroots nonprofit. I'm talking budgets of less than 500,000, which I know doesn't sound small to most people, right?
Right.
But small nonprofits, and a lot of their frustration is, well, why are the larger nonprofits getting funding? Why are they getting so much funding? Why is the funding always going to them? And it lies right there in the impact. They are able to demonstrate exactly how their presence changes a community. When smaller grassroots nonprofits have to be more focused on how their presence is impacting the community versus how their presence impacts an individual. Because donation dollars, every donor, I don't care if it's Capital One or Bank of America, I don't care how deep their pockets are, they want to know that any dollar they invest in you is going to go as far as it can possibly go. And so you really have to get clear on how your presence is impacting the community overall, right? And so it's where the money lies, in all honesty.
Wow. Listen, episode 736, From Concept to Impact, Strategies for Nonprofit Success with Nonprofitability. I know there are people saying, I need to work with her like right now. How can people connect, work with you, and all of that?
We are Nonprofitability on all platforms. And if you want to reach out to me directly, I'm Dr. Shantell Chambliss on all platforms.
All right, there you go. And so for the people that are here who are saying, okay, I already have a nonprofit, do you have one or two strategies that you would give to current people that currently have nonprofits to help them?
Anyone listening who currently has a nonprofit, and anyone who's ever said it on a class that I've taught, they know what I'm going to say. Diversify those revenue streams. If you are solely relying on grant funding, if you are solely relying on individual donors, if you are solely relying on a corporate sponsorship, you are doing yourself and your community a disservice. Just like the old adage goes, every billionaire has 7 streams of income. Every sustainable, profitable nonprofit has 7 streams of income or 7 streams of revenue. You all have to diversify these funding streams. Sell some t-shirts, right? Cultivate individual donors. Have corporations sponsor your programs. Have corporations sponsor your events. Write some grants, right?
Yeah.
Have people leave you in their will. I know nobody likes to talk about that, but
people do leave wills to leave.
Really do.
Yeah.
They really do. I sit on a board for a nonprofit that about 10% of their revenue comes from planned giving. So they know this person may not pass for another 15 years, but they know that money is guaranteed.
Wow.
That money is coming, right? And so that is if I could leave you with one strategy, that it would be is to diversify those revenue streams. Stop relying solely on grants. Stop holding out for a grant.
Mhm.
The reason you're probably not getting grants is because you haven't diversified your revenue streams. And so
Mhm.
the grant funder knows that if they don't provide you with funding year after year after year, you're not sustainable because you don't know
Mhm.
how to raise money any other way. And so definitely diversify, diversify.
And usually in the grant application, they ask about sustainability. What will
Question
continue?
every single application.
Every single time. Listen, this is a great spot to take a quick commercial break because at my 8th event that's coming up, we have the Platform Builder Summit that's coming up November 8th and 9th. We have Dr. Jatanya Parker, who's going to be talking about grants. So we will be talking about that. So I'm going to let you rest in the virtual green room because when we come back, we're going to talk to the people who are like, okay, I think I want to start a nonprofit. You already given amazing tips. If you have anything else for them, we'll let you relax in the background there. Welcome and thank you again to everyone that's popping on in. I'm Sharvette Mitchell, the host of the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. And listen, Dr. Shantell is dropping it here. So if you have a nonprofit connected to a nonprofit, you listen, yes, 7 streams of income come on through, 7 streams of connections. You all need to send them this link, tell them you need to be in here watching, checking this out. But let me show you just really quickly why I host events, because that is also a big topic when it comes to nonprofits events. But let me tell you why I specifically host events. Check this out. There is something incredibly powerful about women business owners and leaders connecting. I mean, really connecting. Yes, online networking is great and it's convenient. However, there is nothing like the energy and vibe of meeting in person. It cannot be replaced. If you thrive in community, I encourage you to connect with and pursue your tribe. Maybe that's with a group of friends. Perhaps that is a local networking event or with women you connect with through a business program or cohort. Someone asked me, why do you host conferences and retreats and encourage your clients to do the same? I responded with a quote from event leader and small business advocate, Lauren Casilia. Your audience needs to know each other and you need to be the connector. My hope for high-achieving women entrepreneurs is that they have a safe space to be heard, to be seen, and to be free. All right, so there you have it. That's why I host events. On my 8th event, check out platformbuildersummit.com. Register and learn more. It is a VIP, all VIP experience. Check it out. And if you're in the nonprofit space, definitely there are going to be segments and topics that'll be beneficial to you. Again, platformbuildersummit.com. Check it out there. All right, let's keep this party moving and let's bring our guest back up to the main stage here. We're excited. Again, thank you for all the love and all the hearts we see coming on in, coming back up live on the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, Dr. Shantell Chambliss. Put your hands together. All right, we are back. And so for people who are saying, okay, I want to start, and you've definitely given so much already. We thank you for that. Any warning signs or any pauses or anything you'd say to the person that wants to get started?
The first thing I would say is collaboration over competition. Funding for nonprofits is already like, yay big, right? If you want to do something that is already happening in your community, look for ways to collaborate versus starting a whole new nonprofit, right? Always nonprofits are always looking to add programs. You can always add a program, become a program under another nonprofit. So definitely look for ways to collaborate. If what you want to do is unique, first things first, please create a strong legal foundation. Don't try to guess your way through the paperwork. Hire a consultant or a firm to walk you through the paperwork to ensure that you are legally sound before you go out asking people for money, right?
Right.
The last thing you want to do is ask someone for a donation and you find out that some paperwork is messed up and that you're not legitimate, because it will instantly tank your reputation. And you probably won't be able to recover. And so I say that all the time. Make sure that you're in good legal standing. If you've been running a nonprofit for a couple of years, and like you did the paperwork, but you never really touched it again, make sure that you're in compliance, so that people know that they are giving to a reputable, legitimate nonprofit. Nonprofits have gotten a really bad rap over the past years for, being a little skeevy, a little scammy. So in order to kind of reclaim the reputation of community-based organizations, the people who are out here doing good, make sure that you start off on the right foot. And then from there, build a really, really dynamic rock star board of directors. Those are going to be your organization's initial governors. They're going to kind of set the direction, and guide the ship, especially in the startup phase. So make sure that you are recruiting people who are dedicated to the mission and not you. When I teach about it's real. People will to recruit their first board of directors from their close circle. Those people are typically there for you, not the mission. You want people, we use that term, we want people that are like-minded. You want people who are like mission-minded, right? If you're doing something in education and you recruit a friend who knows nothing and really doesn't care much about education, they're there for you. They're not there to move that mission forward. Go out and connect with some educators. Go out and find people who are really passionate and aligned with the mission that you set forth, because it's going to come in handy when it's time to get to work.
All right. And can they hire you to help with the legal paperwork or to see if they're in compliance? Is that something y'all do?
Absolutely. We offer a done for you legal formation service where we will do all the paperwork for you, and also do a consultation with you to let you know what this paperwork is, and so that you can manage the process. You're a partner in the process as we're doing your paperwork. And then we offer annual compliance management for nonprofits who are under 50K in revenue. Once you're over 50K, I'm gonna refer you to a CPA. Because at that point you should be putting in those operations and systems and processes where you should have someone who's managing your books. Under 50K will do it for you.
Okay.
So yeah, you can learn more about those services at our website, nonprofitability.co.
Wonderful. And I've heard you speak before about like the timeline. It used to be where people felt like it took so long to get the 501c3 or what have you. Has the time been compressed, or is it a matter of coming to an expert like you?
That part.
Okay.
That part.
The
IRS will tell you, people who don't know what they're doing, it takes about 30 hours to complete the application and probably 6 to 9 months to be approved. And that's if you're lucky to get approved. My company, we whittled that down to about 6 weeks from start to finish, and 100% approval rate as of today.
Come on, receipts. Come on, receipts. 100% approval. So the proof is in the pudding. Those that are listening to the podcast, look down below in the show notes. We have all the connection points for our guest, her full bio, all the links. So if you're like, oh, wait, like what? 100%. Okay, wait. Look down below in the show notes. YouTube, look down below in the show notes. We have all the links there to connect. So like, that's completely impressive.
Thank you.
Yeah. Look, emojis coming in on that. Emojis coming in. Hey, Lisa, thank you for popping on in. So where from here for you? What's coming down the pike, and what can we expect to see from Dr.
So we are evolving into a nonprofit education company. So we will still do consulting, but we are in the process of building an online education platform for nonprofit leaders. It'll be called the Compass Project. So look for that in 2025. It'll be affordable, accessible learning for nonprofit leaders and nonprofit founders, anybody in the nonprofit space, community leaders overall. So I'm really excited about Compass because access to learning changes lives. We know that. We've seen that time and time again, that access to learning changes lives. And a lot of people who are in the nonprofit space and doing nonprofit work cannot afford to attend a major university to get a degree in nonprofit management. But what we can do is make sure that you have access to the latest and greatest in training and resources in the nonprofit space. So Compass Project is coming in 2025. And right now we're still working with clients to help them from concept to impact. Literally, we're doing paperwork to get started. We have some clients who
Oh,
are in strategic planning phases where they're planning
oh
for the
wow.
next 3 to 5 years.
Hmm.
We're walking them through that process. And so that's what's happening with nonprofitability.
Lots of good things going on. And added that you're a wife and a toddler mom.
They say toddler mom, but I almost feel like a toddler's employee.
Yeah.
That's actually more accurate.
And she looked like she don't cut no corners.
No.
Where did that come from? Where did she get that from? I wonder.
Yeah, so it's busy over here. Wife
Yeah.
and this kid who thinks she's the boss of me, and growing a company. And still running my nonprofit. But don't forget that I still run the day-to-day operation of my nonprofit.
Yes.
So I'm still boots on the ground in the nonprofit space while also helping smaller and grassroots nonprofits get up and running.
Feel free to, if you would like to share about your nonprofit, or I don't know if you mix business.
Well, no, I'm the founder of Dress for Success Central Virginia. And so Dress for Success is essentially the equivalent of a nonprofit franchise, where we call ourselves the Starbucks of the nonprofit world.
Yes.
There are currently 139 Dress for Successes in 36 countries. And so we're a nonprofit workforce development agency focused on under-resourced women. So we help women get back to work by, of course, providing them clothing, what we're best known for, but also providing them with career development tools. And so our battery of programs includes career center services, where we help you write your resume and prepare you for interviews, all the way into entrepreneurship, where we are teaching women how to start businesses and investing money in those businesses when they complete our program. So we're really just for women, by women, all across the globe. I'm
All right,
very
very
proud of
good.
Dress for Success. It really gave me my training ground for nonprofitability.
Wonderful, wonderful. Lisa Shaw shouting out, love Dress for Success. So important. Thank you for so much for that, for shouting that out. All right, our time like flew by.
What?
Yeah. And I honor people's time. So I do have our final question that we like to ask all of our guests. The goal of the show is to motivate, excite, and influence. We want to know what continues to motivate Dr. Shantell Chambliss.
Ooh, right now will absolutely be my daughter. Seeing the world through a toddler's eyes is something that I didn't think. I don't know what I thought it would be, but seeing the world through her eyes and wanting to improve her vantage point. I want the world that she looks out at to be beautiful, to be safe, to be welcoming, to be warm, especially for a little brown girl. And so that motivates me to continue doing this work. Nonprofit work is kind of gritty sometimes, right? When you are doing community-based work, it gets a little hard. It's not very glamorous all the time. But I know that the work that we're doing is making a difference in the world. My hope, one of my biggest goals, is that when she becomes of age, that there's not even a need for an organization like Dress for Success, that women have access to everything they need to enter the workforce, that they have all of the resources, all of the tools at the, in the palm of their hand. And they see services like Dress for Success. That's the true mission, vision of any nonprofit. Is eventually there won't be a need for your service, right? Eventually there won't be a need for a food pantry, because everyone will have access to what they need. Those are our big vision goals. And so seeing the world through her eyes and wanting to constantly and consistently improve what she sees keeps me going.
Oh, so well said. Getting some ahs and some hearts. We see you in the audience. Let me capture this comment. Lisa, I know personally when I had a nonprofit long ago, rewarding and serious, absolutely serious work there. And thank you again for your service, and really kind of sounding the alarm. Like nonprofit doesn't mean like poor, no access. Like there's how many, you probably know the number, like millions, billions in the
billions. The nonprofit sector accounts for 5 to 8% of our nation's gross domestic product. We are not just sitting around begging for money. We are actually employers. We employ 10% of the population. We're feeding the economy, just like your favorite, just like Amazon. Nonprofits are feeding the economy as well.
All right. So check out. We posted the link. The CO is correct. That is the appropriate. We posted the link in our for her company, nonprofitability.co. That is correct. So I wanted to make sure if you thought, oh, that's a spelling error. No, that is correct. You'll be able to click the link and go right over there. Thank you so much for being here. This was fun. We have to have you back.
Absolutely. You know, I'll be here.
All right. Thank you. All right. Woo. Awesome episode. Literally, if you know anyone that has a nonprofit, you need to share this link with them. Anyone thinking about it, or you might say, you know, there's someone I think that has a business, or they think they have a business, but it's really probably a nonprofit. Help them out and send them this link and send them on to our guest. Again, charvette.com, our main website. You can find Dr. Shantell's full bio, links, all the connection points, everything is linked there. If you're listening to the podcast version, look down below in the show notes. If you're on YouTube, look down below on the show notes. And it is a wrap for the Charvette Mitchell Radio Show. Thank you so much. Yes, and my sister Kim is like, thank you, Dr. Shantell. Thank you so much for all of your work. It's been great. We'll see you all later on the web. Bye.
Live from Richmond, Virginia, you've been listening to the Charvette Mitchell Radio Show. Catch Charvette Mitchell every Tuesday at 6 p.m., interviewing all the stars you want to hear from. So until next week, stay motivated, excited, and influenced. This is the Charvette Mitchell Radio Show.